Welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple months since I talked about the welding setup, and a lot of things changed, and I also want to just do a brief little overview of my cutting setup. We're gonna do this first because this is all something you can buy in pretty much one kit. I don't know the part number or whatever the specifications are, but it's a Victor setup. I got a couple weld mark, whatever you want to call them. These pretty much just make it so you can't blow yourself up. I don't know how much those are. I don't really remember, but either way, I've just had them on here since I got it. Besides that, it's just the Victor setup. It came with the regulators, came with the torch, and then comes with these, which are kind of shitty, but it's just better than nothing, I guess. And then it comes with I think a couple tips and the lighter. So nothing crazy, but it does a lot of work for me, and it helps me out a lot. And one thing you might notice is I have kind of a twisted hoses. I do that so when I'm unraveling it, it doesn't kink up too bad. I can just kind of run it out and not really think about it. So I like that one. Also, it looks cool. But when these come, they're not glued together, but they're kind of plastic together, which is fine. And it actually worked pretty good, but as I'm undoing it, and as it sits there for a long time, it'll kind of get, it kind of like memories to the post that I have wrapped on. And when I'm running it out, it'll basically kink on basically all the corners. When it runs out, it'll want to stay like that. So it just takes a little bit extra time to get it set up. Not a big deal, but anyway, that's why I twisted it. Besides that, these just mini jugs of acetylene and oxygen. Everything I have down here is smaller. It's just cheaper to get right off the rip. And if you want to upgrade, you basically just bring it back, and then you just buy a bigger tank, and they'll buy the small ones off you. No big deal. Up here in Maine, I use Maine Oxy. If you have like an air gas, those are pretty much nationwide, I believe. And you can do it there. I don't know what your state has if you're not from Maine, but everything I have is from Maine Oxy, and they do good, for me at least. But now back to the welding setup. Same cart and new machine. This is the same 210 multi-process I had before. That does 90% of my work now. I haven't done a lot of TIG in a long time, and I haven't really done much, period. But we're gonna take a step in there. This opens up a lot of opportunities because I can TIG aluminum, and around here where I'm on the coast, I can do that. It opens up. A lot of people use aluminum on the water, so I'm gonna start getting into probably boats and TIGging stainless and all that for a lot of different applications. But that basically just opens up my possibilities to what I can do here. Now, I did modify my little cage here to hold an extra one. It fits fairly decent. That's my TIG bottle. This is just straight argon. And then this is the same MIG bottle I have, which is my 75-25 mix. So that's all fairly self-explanatory. Now, one thing I want to touch on is how I've run everything. I got everything on this cart. It has this flip up, whatever you want to call it. I forget. Anyway, pretty much I just have everything run out here neatly and organized, and then zip tied. That way I don't lose any of it. That way, pretty much I don't have just random dangling wires everywhere, and hoses and cords and all that. I have basically I made my power cords almost useless because I just have my extension cord that I'll plug in and run out, and then I'll just plug into the machine. So these are constantly right where they are. This makes it so I don't have to worry about anything, or when I'm moving this thing around, there's nothing dragging and all that. This hose is run a little more neatly because it's been straightened out for such a long time. This one was really neatly coiled. It was sick. It just coils run down. It ran out, but over time it's getting a little more relaxed. So at some point I'll straighten it out maybe, and then I'll run it all zip tied around here nice and neat. The TIG guy, the power cord is super stiff, as they all come from the factory. And I didn't really run it out and kind of make it go straight. Like that one's been run out a million times. It's a little more flexible. So this guy's kind of just gonna be like this, and it is what it is. I can still plug it in, no big deal. His bungee cord is just kind of hanging here. I didn't have anywhere else to put it. Now I will say this TIG machine is loud, extremely loud compared to the MIG machine. This fan's pretty hardcore. And then besides that, everything's stock on the torch side. This is just the Magnum torch that comes with it. I did put a stubby end on it. I haven't messed much with the cones yet. I want to get used to the consumables before I change sizes or anything. I want to mess with that. And I don't know how everybody else feels about the Yes Welder stuff. I don't know. I see guys use them, and they seem to work. They work fine for me so far. I just bought this kit. In here is the stock Magnum one. Just the long back. I put on the stubby, and I want to work towards using the like a stubby cone of some sort. Really, because when I'm doing a lot of welding, I don't really have the luxury of space. So the smaller the package, the better for me, to be honest, with a lot of the stuff I have here. So that's why I have the stubby tip on there. And once I learn it and get used to it, I'll move into probably a stubby cone or maybe these gas lenses. And anyway, this is just a kit I bought. Pretty sick so far. It's just tungsten. I have more at the house I forgot to bring down, and then I have a bunch of filler rod coming. I didn't buy any right from the start because I want to get used to fusion and kind of learn the machine that way, and then filler rod it later. And then whatever, I'll just progress. And if I can get used to it, fusion, it'll be that much easier to use filler rod. And I already know all the movements and what I want to do for my technique or whatever I find more comfortable. Then I can just move into the filler rod, and it's going to be that much easier. And besides that, it just opens up a lot of avenues I can go. But I also have the foot pedal is run through the grommet for the extension cord. And then basically when I have to use the foot pedal, this doors are just going to stay open, and that'll go out, and that way it can be stored without dragging that cord around too. Then besides that, same Sentinel hood. Just about to change that lens. It's looking pretty whooped. But we're going to practice today on this rack. This rack is made by OK Welding down in Hyannis, Massachusetts. That's more where I'm from, really. And this is a rack for my dad's truck. And that OK Welding, I guess, has made a lot of his racks in the past when he did a lot of work down there. Worked down there for a long time. They did a lot of stuff for him. I don't know, nobody really does this stuff around here. If they do, I don't know about them. But anyway, he bought this rack when he got his truck, and it's kind of been, I don't want to say the rack's been disastrous, because it's been okay, but more the truck's been disastrous. Like, now they're only done by 4 bolts, so that's probably some of it. 4 smaller bolts, and the rack side's fine. And this rack is probably 3 years old now, maybe. So I got it pretty much right after he got the truck. So it's probably 3 years old. But there's been a lot of issues. One, those straps broke. That was all on him. He strapped down those broke because of him, but because of the rack, or more because of the truck bed. So pretty much what happens is, with these 4 bolts, the newer Chevy truck beds are absolutely trash. People complain about the aluminum in the Fords. No, that Chevy stuff is so thin, it's unreal. That one ripped through the whole bed side. These 3, that one was fine. That one ripped through the bed, so there's a hole through the bed. And then so did this one, I believe. To the point where he didn't really have time to really care about thinking about it. So he just used the tie downs to strap it to the corners of the bed, and then when nothing was loaded, that's how this rack was held down pretty much, because I had one bolt that actually did anything. This one, over time, probably from those ones ripping through and not really holding the rack down, this one wiggled and ripped through the bedside. Trash. And then this back corner of the bed where this sits, there's actually a crack that's probably like a quarter, the size of a quarter, and it just like it's so bad. And really, it's just been because of the weight of the rack, which is unreal, because this rack's not heavy at all, and we really haven't had any super strong loads on it. I mean, normal stuff like a bunch of 2x10s, 2x12s, but nothing like super catastrophic. And the rack took it fine for the most part. I'm about to show you the worst part of the rack is this middle bar. That side's okay, but you can see this tube started bulging, and this used to be a square like the rest of them, and we think there's a lot of water in there, and it froze, and then it bulged that. We're like, oh, where'd that come from? And lo and behold, this, of course now it won't do it, but anyway, this whole post broke, the whole circle. I don't know if it's because the welds failing over time with the abuse, or if it's just because of all the way they bolted it down and how horribly the truck took it, and it just, over the flexibility and stuff over time, and it just snapped and cracked and broke. But I mean, the whole way around, this thing is just destroyed. So this is what I'm going to be fixing today, and I'm probably going to go make a pass over this and maybe the bars up front. Besides that, this rear one is, some of them swing. I like how this one picks up. It's just less things to worry about. But anyway, that one just picks up out of there if you want the rack gone. Now, the benefit of this style rack is actually for a forklift. And we're doing carpentry. We're getting a lot of lifts of stuff and whatever, so they can just take the forklift at the lumberyard and drop whatever 10 2x12s on here at one time, and just speeds up the process. And that's why these are kind of dropped down, because when the forks go in there, they drop, and then the wood or whatever else you're carrying, trim, will sit on the crossbars, and it gives enough room for the forks to drop down and slide out without dragging anything. So it's a cool rack, and really, I thought it was built pretty good, but that is no bueno. But the rest of it looks okay. But I'm probably just gonna, while I'm here doing it, maybe I'll just make another pass through it. But my filler rod did not come in, so maybe I'll just try to fusion it and just see how it goes, and then I'll switch the MIG probably to finish it off. But really, I just want to give myself some more practice on the TIG, so we're probably just gonna start doing that. We'll clean it up good, and we'll burn some stuff out. But so going back to where those strap, so the straps are holding down the bed. He put a golf cart, actually this golf cart, in the back of it, and then drove 6 hours, and they were just chafing on the bottom of the body panel, I guess. And so those both got cut off, and so now we're just down to 2. Not a big deal. These are just bolted in there. We'll get a couple more. And anyway, that's probably going to be it for today. A lot of talking, not a lot of action, but that's kind of just how this is going to go. If I had a good way to set this thing up and not blow my phone up, if I was using like GoPro, I'd probably set it up because I don't really care. But this is my phone. I don't really want to buy a new phone, so I don't want it to weld and crack anything. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. And let me know what you think. Let me know what your setup is. I was gonna do 2 different carts, but then I didn't want to buy a cart, so we made that one work. And so far, it's doing good. We'll see how long it lasts and see how it goes over time. But it's done really well with the one welder. So maybe the weight of the 2 in the tanks will mess it up, but so far so good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys, with your racks, if you guys have had issues like this, whether it's because of weight or just wiggling or just the truck moving around, I don't know. But let me know what you think, and have a good rest of your guys' day.